to carry you to freedom. Follow the drinking gourd. 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 Follow the gourd. Follow the gourd. Follow the drinking gourd. Now the riverbed makes a mighty good road. There Jesus show you the way. Left foot, right foot, head foot, traveling on foot. Follow the drinking gourd. Left foot, right foot, head foot, traveling on foot. Follow the drinking gourd. Follow the gourd, brother. Follow the gourd, sister. Follow the drinking gourd. The river runs, yes, the river runs between two hills. Follow the drinking gourd. 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 Follow the gourd. Follow the gourd. Follow the drinking gourd. Follow the drinking gourd. Follow the drinking gourd. Follow gourd, follow gourd, follow gourd, follow the drinking gourd. Follow gourd, follow gourd, follow gourd, follow the drinking gourd. Follow gourd, follow gourd, follow gourd, follow the drinking gourd. Follow gourd, follow gourd, follow gourd, follow the drinking gourd. Follow, yes, follow. Follow the drinking gourd. Follow the drinking gourd. Follow the drinking gourd.
Good morning, and welcome to Hillsborough Community College's 50th Commencement Ceremony event. We are delighted that you have joined us to celebrate our 2019 graduates, and the ceremony will now begin.
Good morning. I am Ken Atwater, President of Hillsborough Community College. And on behalf of the college's administration, the faculty and the staff, and the District Board of Trustees, I welcome you to the 50th commencement of Hillsborough Community College. Now I would like to invite Sergeant Daphne Lewis of the United States Marine Corps Reserve from the Del Mabry campus to the podium so that he can lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. This will be followed by the national anthem performed by the Hillsborough Community College Jazz Band and the chorus. But before Sergeant Lewis leads us in the national anthem, the Pledge of Allegiance, I'd like to ask, if you are a veteran or currently active military, would you please stand or either raise your hand? Students or audience, please stand and raise. Join me in thanking them for their service. Sergeant Lewis.
Please stand with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which we stand, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. Before we begin today's program, I would like to introduce the college's District Board of Trustees. Each is appointed by the governor and graciously volunteer their time to serve as the policy-making body for Hillsborough Community College. Their hard work often goes unseen, but today, with this class of graduates, the largest in the history of the college, their efforts are realized. I asked if you would hold your applause until I've had the opportunity to introduce the entire board. First, our board chair, Ms. Deepa Shaw, our vice chair, Ms. Betty Villamontes, trustee Brigadier General Arthur Chip Deal, trustee Mr. Randall Reed, and our student trustee, Ms. Diana Hernandez. Would you please stand and be recognized? Thank you. Today is a historic milestone at Hillsborough Community College for several reasons. First, this is the largest commencement that we've ever had at the college. Who knew that when we started classes back at Hillsborough High School in 1968, a time would come when we'd have over 1,200 graduates walk across this stage and go out into the community as proud HCC alumni in a single ceremony. Students like Skylar Kraft, our youngest graduate at 17 years of age, and 72-year-old Rita Blizzard, who represents the lifelong learners at HCC. Rita and Skylar, are you here? Please stand so we can recognize you also. Today, we also graduate 166 Collegiate Academy students. A fantastic partnership between HCC and the School District of Hillsborough County. These incredible motivated students from Armwood, Lato, and Leonard High Schools have completed the necessary credit for a degree at HCC, in addition to meeting their high school class requirement. These dual enrollment academy cohorts started together in the 9th grade and will graduate today with their Associate in Arts degree weeks before they actually graduate from high school. We're expressly pleased that Tamara Schumberger is here today representing the Hillsborough County School Board, the chair of the board. Tamara, thank you for being here with us today. Graduates, we're delighted and extremely proud to share this special occasion with you, your family, and friends. We know that HCC is a place of reinvention and renewal and limitless opportunity. As I look out over the audience of people from different backgrounds and experience, I am truly humbled that you chose HCC as your college. For those of us with the privilege of working at this institution, there's no greater moment of pride than watching each of you walk across this stage to receive your diploma. You are here today because you set a goal and have met it, often in the face of extraordinary challenging circumstances. Many of you had made enormous sacrifices. I'm sure there were times when you thought this day may never come, but you persevered. And because you did, your life, the life of your family, and this community that we all love will be better for it. There's a tradition we follow here at graduation at HCC, and that tradition is if you are a family member, father, mother, son, daughter, cousin, or friend of any of the graduates today in the audience, would you please stand? Come on, please stand. On behalf, please remain standing just a minute. On behalf of all the graduates, we want to thank you for your support. It has been invaluable. Graduates, please stand and let's join me in giving them a round of applause. Thank you. It is also important to recognize the dedication of our faculty and staff who work so hard to ensure that every classroom and campus experience is a meaningful one. Our students are the first to acknowledge the contribution they made towards their success. I would ask that the faculty and staff to please stand and be recognized and join me in thanking them for their work. The faculty and staff. Good job, guys. Now it is my pleasure to introduce today's student speaker, Mr. Garrett Prideaux. Garrett was born in Annapolis, Maryland, and he currently lives in Wesley Chapel with his wife, Megan, and his black lab, Raven. Garrett joined the Marine Corps in 2008 and served 2 combat deployments in Afghanistan, earning the rank of sergeant. After graduating from HCC with an associate degree, he plans to transfer to USF and major in psychology. His lifelong dream is to earn a doctorate in psychology and work for the VA hospital, helping veterans suffering from PTSD and substance abuse issues. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming Mr. Garrett Prideaux.
Whew. Wow. I never thought this day would come. Good morning, faculty, graduates, families, and friends. We are all here at a wonderful time in Hillsborough Community College's history. This year, we celebrated HCC's 50th year of academic excellence. This is an amazing achievement that all of us are fortunate to be a part of. Now, before I get ahead of myself, I'd like to thank everyone that's been a part of my journey. My parents. Ken and Beth Pardo, who helped shape me into the man that I am today. I need to thank the Marine Corps for taking the man that my parents molded and polished me up a little bit. Rah! I need to thank all my professors for putting up with me throughout the last few semesters and me trying to argue to get a better grade on most of my assignments. And what kind of husband would I be if I didn't thank my beautiful wife, Megan? She's the woman who tolerated me through all my complaining about having to write papers and do homework. The woman who helped keep me on track to finish my associates in just 3 semesters. I would also like to congratulate my fellow students who are able to be here today and attend this incredible commencement. Not all of us have been through the same things over our lifetimes. Some of us are veterans, some of us are cancer survivors, some are single parents or children of a struggling single parent. A few of us have fought literal wars, and every one of us has fought our fair share of figurative wars. But we have all been to battle in some way. I want you to think back on your first day at HCC. Think about your fears and your nerves crippling you. I want you to think back on walking into the classroom for the first time and praying that you're in the right place. I want you to think back on an obstacle or a challenge that almost broke you. Does anybody remember? Is there a moment that stands out in your mind? A moment where you were sure you would crack under the pressure, or a test you thought would hinder this graduation? Do you have that moment? All of our moments are going to be different, but they have one thing in common. They're all in the past. They didn't break us. Those moments didn't prevent our determination to carry on and to graduate. We have all taken a different path to get here, and our paths will continue from here. Some of our paths will take us in directions that we never thought we would go. I personally never thought I would join the Marine Corps or even go to college, much less graduate. But that's the path my life journey took me on. And here, at this moment, all of our paths converge. We sit and stand as brothers and sisters who've met on the battlefield of life and just defeated one of our enemies. We conquered one of our fears and successfully forged a new path for ourselves. A few of us have gained some scars along the way, but scars are just tattoos with better stories. They're proof that life tried to break you, but failed. I'm thankful that HCC has been a meeting place for all of us to share our stories and to learn from not only our professors, but to learn from each other. I like to think of myself as an empiricist in life. I believe that learning comes not only from the classroom, but also through our experiences. Experiences come from our interactions with others, and HCC is a melting pot of people from different lifestyles, religions, socioeconomic backgrounds, age, and ethnicity. I know that I'm blessed for having had the opportunity to learn something from my professors and my peers. And hopefully, I've had a positive effect on the people I've learned from. Life is hard. Life does not give us what we think we deserve, or sometimes what we need. We all had to work for our degree. We have to work and sometimes fight for everything that we have. I challenge each and every one of you to continue to work for a better life. I'm not saying to work just for material things like new jet skis, but if that's in your plan, let me know so we can hang out, get together at the beach. But I'm saying to continue to work for the life that you want. There's no perfect mold for life. What works for your neighbor may not work for you, and that's okay. I actually think it's preferable. This allows us to be individuals, and it's individuals who change the world. Remember those moments that almost beat you, and when you are faced with similar moments in the future, I want you to remember this moment, a moment surrounded by your peers, this conquering moment of celebration. We all overcame each and every day in our own way, but we all overcame. We are all making our lives better. Don't let graduation be just another check in the box. Let it be a time to marvel in your accomplishments and a driving force for the future. I want to encourage you to continue your journey by quoting Robin Williams from the movie Jack. Make your life spectacular. Congratulations, class of 2019.
Thanks, buddy. Hold on just a minute. I want to say thank you, Garrett, for allowing HCC to be a part of your journey. And in appreciation for your commencement address today, I'm pleased to present you this plaque recognizing your address. How about another round of applause for Garrett? Great job.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Great job. At this time, it is my pleasure to call on HCC Professor of Counseling, Elizabeth Key Rayner, who brings greetings and a message from the faculty. Elizabeth?
Thank you, Dr. Atwater. Allow me to take a moment to recognize the retiring HCC faculty who were honored at a reception before this ceremony. Barbara Duncan, Professor of Mathematics, 30 years. Brian Fisk, Professor of Anthropology, 25 years. Ian Gibbons, Associate Professor of Computer Science, 13 years. Charles Jimenez, Professor of English, 29 years. Margaret Petway, Counseling Instructor, 18 years. Michael Reichard, Professor of Criminal Justice, 15 years. Catherine Robinson, Assistant Professor of Reading, 24 years, and William Underwood, Professor of Opticianry, 29 years. Please join me in showing appreciation for their years of hard work and dedication to the students of HCC. Please take a moment to remember Larry Michael Lopez, Associate Professor of Business, 12 years, who passed away during this academic year. Graduates, this is a fabulous day tailored with you in mind. This is your time to celebrate and be glad about today's occasion. I stand before you on behalf of the HCC faculty offering my sincerest congratulations to you on reaching this milestone. The time you spent online, in the library, in the Student Services Office, and in the classroom has allowed you to not only become a more informed citizen, you are now prepared to pursue your next dream and to reap the rewards this accomplishment affords you. Malcolm X stated, "Education is the passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today." You are on the precipice of tomorrow. As you prepare to receive the tangible evidence of your education, your hard copy diploma, I'd like to remind you that whatever gave you strength from day to day, do not let that power leave you. As I prepare to close, I would like to thank you for allowing us to educate you. Thank you for entrusting us to prepare you for your next step. Go out and live your best life. Should you need HCC in the future for anything, do not hesitate to seek our assistance. Finally, I'd like to leave you with a few words from Jude, the brother of James, from one of my favorite books. Mercy, peace, and love be yours in abundance. Thank you. Please welcome Ms. Deepa Shah, Chair of the District Board of Trustees.
Thank you, Elizabeth. I'd like to give one more round of applause to our wonderful faculty, because without you, we wouldn't be here today. So thank you. And I have to say that was one of the best commencement speeches I've ever heard. So great job. Good morning. My name is Deepa Shah. And for nearly 4.5 years, I have had the privilege of serving on your behalf as a member of the Hillsborough Community College District Board of Trustees. Along with my colleagues on the board, I want to offer our sincerest congratulations. This is a beloved event for us as trustees, and it's an inspiring moment for us to see the time, effort, and dedication that you have put forward to come here today to get your degree. So to us, we graduate with you because every one of your struggles is our struggles. I'm delighted to be able to today introduce our graduation speaker, Elizabeth Smith. Ms. Smith is the Executive Chair of the Board of Directors for Blooming Brands as of April 1st, 2019. Blooming Brands is a $5 billion restaurant company with restaurants such as Outback, Carrabba's, Fleming's, and Bonefish. I'm sure you guys have heard of them. She has served as a chairman since January of 2012 and served as Chief Executive Officer and Director from November 2009 till April 2019. From January 2005 to October 2009, Ms. Smith was the president of Avon Products, a global beauty products company. From September 1990 to November 2004, Ms. Smith worked in various capacities at Kraft Foods, Inc. She has been recognized in the past by Fortune magazine and as one of the most powerful women in business, and Forbes magazine Top 100 Global Women Leaders. Amazing accomplishments. Ms. Smith currently serves on the board of directors for the U.S. Fund for UNICEF, the Big Brothers and Big Sisters organization, Moffitt Cancer Center, and is the deputy chair of the Federal Reserve Bank of Atlanta. And she's also on the board for Hilton Corporation. Ms. Smith holds a bachelor's degree and is a Phi Beta Kappa from the University of Virginia and has an MBA from Stanford Graduate School of Business. Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Elizabeth Smith.
Thank you, Deepa. So I think it's been confirmed that if you ever need anybody to introduce you, it should be Deepa or your mother. That was so lovely. Good morning, Dr. Atwater, trustees, faculty, graduates, families, and guests. I was truly honored when Dr. Atwater asked me to join you and share a few thoughts on this important day in your life. I recall my own graduation day many years ago in 1985 and the 30-plus year journey that brought me to Tampa to work at Blooming Brands, an amazing company where I've spent the last 10 years and have found a new hometown. As I began collecting my thoughts, I would realize that I would have to come clean right up front. Rather than a strategic, well-planned climb up a corporate ladder, my life and my career has actually been more like climbing, negotiating, and sometimes stumbling through a ropes course that still challenges me. And while the world has dramatically changed over the past 30 years since I was in your shoes, I thought I would talk today about 4 things that I think are still applicable that I learned along my journey. I want to share a little bit of the wisdom I picked up along the way and some of the choices I've made, the good ones and the bad ones, and more importantly, why I made those choices. And it's my hope that in some small way they resonate as other people's advice has helped me so much over the years. So if I had to title this speech or sum up my work-life philosophy in one sentence, it would be my first thought for you today. Give yourself permission to figure it out as you go along. There is so much pressure to have a plan, to know what you want to do, but I am encouraging you to give yourself permission to not know. It's okay. I've shared this advice with people many times over the years, but as new graduates, it's probably the most important thing I can share from my own experience. I have never had a master plan that guided my decisions that I skillfully orchestrated. In retrospect, I've learned that master plans are restrictive versus instructive. The major changes I've made in my life were entirely unplanned, and frankly, none of them really made sense on paper. When I was in your position and I graduated from college, I was planning to pursue a master's in literature in the hope of someday becoming a writer. I went to work at a bank to try to earn money to put towards that effort. I fell in love with the business environment, and when I did go back to school, it ended up being for business. I left business school for Kraft Foods to learn how to start a company. I really wanted to be an entrepreneur. And so I planned on staying a few years and ended up staying for 14 years. And if you told me that then, I would have said there was no way that that would happen, that I would work for a large company for 14 years. I left Kraft Foods to go to Avon after starting a dialogue with Avon's new CEO. We met as kindergarten mothers when our sons started school together, huddled in the back over coffee, hoping they made it through the day. When I left Avon in 2009 to come to Bloomin' Brands here in Tampa, Fortune magazine characterized my decision as Avon's president's odd leap to CEO. As I look back, the best experiences I have had were the unforeseen ones, the unexpected detours, and the leaps of faith. Life moves at a brisk pace. If you remain nimble, comfortable with ambiguity, more opportunities present themselves. If the last few years have taught us anything, it's that there is no such thing as truly knowing what the future holds. So make sure you're fulfilled and allow yourself to figure it out as you go through your journey. Even though I've never had a single game plan for my career or life, I have had two guiding principles that have helped drive my choices. The first is to work for mission-driven organizations that believe in doing good while doing well. And the second is the conviction to never settle for what is comfortable unless it's deeply fulfilling. This brings me to my second thought I wanted to share, which is find out what inspires you uniquely and never settle. I graduated from business school in 1990, and I caught the startup bug like many fellow classmates. And a very wise professor advised me to spend some time getting to train and actually run a business before I tried to start one. So I went for what I thought would be a few years to Kraft Foods to get classic training. I had no intention of staying, and next thing I knew, 3 years turned into 14 years. I loved what I was doing and being in a customer environment, and every time I felt like I reached a plateau on learning, some new assignment would come and present itself. Over the years, I was really vulnerable, oftentimes, to losing my way, occasionally plagued by guilt or self-doubt about what I should be doing, forgetting that I needed to follow my heart versus what is trendy or coveted or talked about in the press. During the first internet boom, I'm really dating myself, in the late 1990s, I was on a trip with some friends, and all the talk was focused on leaving the old economy, which was manufacturing and service businesses, and migrating to the new economy, the internet. One of my friends looked at me and chastised me in a room full of people and said, "Why would you want to stay in packaged goods and miss out on the second industrial revolution?" You know, that's a tough thing to answer in a room full of people when my job at the time was selling Jell-O gelatin. I began to question my decisions. Why didn't I want to go work for ePets, for eBoodle, for eToys, for WebVan? What's wrong with me? And the answer was simple. I was following my passion. I'm very comfortable with technology, but I'm more interested in how it's an enabler to connect consumers directly to a physical brand experience. That's what I love. That's what inspires me. So rather than following the trend, I stayed because I realized success would only come through the honest intersection of what I was good at and what I loved. Throughout your life, you will be barraged with messages about what you should do, think, eat, and care about. Stay true to yourself and honor the intersection of what you love and what you're good at. My third thought is to remember that confidence is a muscle that you build by taking risks. I often get asked by people starting out, how did you gain your confidence? Let me be really honest. When I was in your position, I did not have a lot of self-confidence. As an English major, my resume wasn't a draw for companies recruiting at University of Virginia. I gained confidence and resilience over time through effort, some failures, and some successes. And then an odd thing started happening, a not surprising thing. Over time, I started believing that I could succeed, and this emboldened me to take chances and pursue opportunities even when they made me feel uncomfortable. So that confidence wasn't innate in me, i.e., I wasn't wired that way. Couple this with living in today's social media-rich world where curated images give the illusions of others living a perfect life, and there's no wonder that overall, our confidence is waning. So I encourage you to tune out the naysayers and the false impressions around you. Everyone is just as nervous as you are, even if they don't show it and they seem calm, cool, and collected and confident on the outside. They're not. Remind yourself that confidence is something that you have to build over time, and it's built through experience. And for me, it's been built by taking risks and coming out the other side, not always successful, but more resilient and stronger. And finally, and most importantly, I want to share with you to remember to live a 360-degree life. Although I've had the great privilege of having had a truly rewarding career that I loved, I have a confession to make. My career is certainly not the most important thing in my life. My family is. I have two wonderful sons, Henry and William, close family and friends who I know are with me whenever I have to make an unpopular decision, stick my neck out, make a mistake, or feel under pressure. When work is not your whole life, it is very freeing and it allows you to make more objective, clear-headed decisions. It makes you a better leader and more empathetic person. A passion for life outside my job has made me more creative, more focused, and better able to prioritize. In our global economy, it is certainly possible to work 24/7, and if you don't have a vested interest in having more in your life than just a job, you will lose perspective and become vulnerable to a narrow definition of success. So remember to step back and clear your head. And when you do gain success, you need to pay it forward. I was born into a financially sound family, and I had a privileged upbringing. Most people are not as fortunate. I also had so many people in my life take the time to mentor and coach me, and it's why I feel so passionately about giving my time and energy to children and young people who face obstacles and challenges not of their making. My involvement over the past 20 years with organizations such as Big Brothers Big Sisters, UNICEF, Moffitt Cancer Center, and mentoring young people has been an important part of my life and has helped me grow enormously. Devoting more of my time to these endeavors was a big reason why I transitioned out of the day-to-day responsibilities of CEO last month. So those are the 4 things that I wanted to share that I've learned over the past 30 years that have helped me the most in my journey. And some days I remember them all, some days I forget and stumble, but I forgive myself and I try again. This is an incredibly exciting time for you all. So much to be discovered, discussed, and engaged in right in front of you. And my hope for you as you begin your journey is that you give yourself permission to figure out your lives and careers as they unfold, that you find out what inspires you uniquely and never settle, that you gain the confidence to know that you are resilient and take risks even when you're afraid, and that you take the time to lead a 360-degree life, which will include mentoring the next generation after you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak with you today. Congratulations, class of 2019. The world awaits and needs your impact.
Liz, we're extremely grateful that you're here today and for your support for HCC. And as a token of our appreciation, it gives me great pleasure to present you with this award to commemorate the occasion. Thank you, Liz. And how about another round of applause?
Good morning. I am Richard Sanker, the Interim Vice President of Academic Affairs. The recognition of students with high academic performance is a very special part of any graduation. This is the 22nd year that graduates from the Honors Institute are participating in the commencement exercise. These graduation candidates will be wearing a medallion. The wearing of a gold cord on the left shoulder recognizes all other honor students. A gold stole is often worn by students who are members of Phi Theta Kappa, an international honor society for two-year colleges. Graduates wearing the gold medallion with the royal blue ribbon are graduates of the Hope Scholars Program. Graduates wearing the black Kenta-trimmed stoles are members of HCC's chapter of Collegiate 100. Graduates wearing white stoles are Campus Student Government Association leaders. Graduates wearing the red, white, and blue cords are veterans. Graduates wearing the blue cords are national members of the American Medical Student Association. Graduates wearing light blue stoles are high school dual enrollment students who have participated in our collegiate academies. Dr. Atwater, the faculty of Hillsborough Community College, affirms that the candidates have fully met all requirements for graduation. They are approved and ready to receive their degrees and certificates. Graduates, please stand.
With the power vested in me by the Board of Trustees and the state of Florida, and upon the recommendation of the faculty and administration of Hillsborough Community Colleges, these candidates are hereby awarded an Associate in Arts degree, an Associate in Science degree, Advanced Technical Certificate, College Credit Certificate, or Post-Secondary Adult Vocational Certificates, with all of the rights and privileges pertaining hereto. Congratulations, graduates. Graduates, please come forward for the conferring of the degrees. I remind you, this is a very prestigious occasion, and we ask that you please return to your seat after receiving your diploma and remain seated until the ceremony is complete. Graduates, come forward.
Garrett Pardo.
Daphlin Lewis.
Diana Hernandez.
Matthew Montaigne.
Cerise Vasquez.
Sarah Ludina.
Mackenzie Ray Miles.
Aaron Smith Sr.
Sakumi McSeal.
Crystal Dugans.
Anna Lorero.
Dalen Crotus.
Essa Breto.
JP Sanchez.
Ayano Okazaki.
Tasuki Shiota.
Tatiana White.
Tracy Winters.
Jose Valencia.
Christina Silvestri.
Amanda Antonio Guzman.
Wade Collins.
Melissa Bender.
Jacob Bender.
Dariana Granados.
Markiosha Burgess.
Julia Solomon.
Stephanie Alvarado.
Kiara Simone.
Brittany Harrison.
Priscilla Nina.
Anna Gonzalez.
Katie Walls.
Jilliane Alonzo.
Ashley Hobby.
Catherine Mayo.
Mauricio Palameta.
Natalie Garcia.
Yamisiel Lebron.
Jessica Lynn George.
Joanna Ortega.
Nicholas Gregg.
Ruth Montero.
Lespa Villarreal.
Evelyn Castro.
Sydney Manning.
Javier Lucas.
Christy Cruz.
Andrew Cavaleron.
Christina McGrath.
Christian McGrath. Jennifer Rose Matley.
Eulistine McMillan.
Amanda Putt.
Michael Perez.
Richard Gibson.
Peterson Morantes.
Christian Antonio Roman Lorenzo.
Marvin Montenegro.
Christian Castro.
Kevin Carrasquillo.
Isaiah Smith.
Christopher Phillips.
Daniel Pierre.
Jeff Dosu.
Roberto Perez.
Sylvia Tapia.
Amy Benehoff.
Anna Marie Franco.
Alden Alexander Alden Alexander Arce.
Anastasia Figueroa.
Anayi Figueroa.
Amani Rodriguez.
Rebecca English.
Penny Lee Russell.
Guillermo Melendez.
Marcy Brown.
Dominic Contreras.
Senna Heron.
Brendan Herrick.
Taylor Brown.
Priscilla Ramos. Yasmil Capote Garcia. Annalise Delgado.
Cassandra Gayton.
Kenneth Wayne Grooms, Jr.
John Paul Jimenez.
Isiri Gonzalez Anduham.
Ramses Pena.
Morgan Ledger.
Taylor Barreto.
Isabella Charest.
Shayla Lee.
Yvonne Rayo.
Solomar Ford.
Tashana Hubbard.
Lacey Brown.
Logan Emerson.
Bijou Diglow.
Matani Luma.
Sherikay Scale.
Angela Guerra.
Susanna Manning.
Jose Luis Pandero.
Paul Iberea.
Lindsay Morgan House.
Charlicia Williams.
Cherry Rose Valera.
Halima Kakar.
Fabian Woodard.
Jordan Agee.
Delia Silverio Escalante.
Sienna Costa.
Malia Jones.
Sabrina Alonso.
Taylor Golcheski.
Savannah Adams.
Janae Fain.
Fabriana Craps.
Nishant Binns.
Angelina Baldy.
Rebecca Hewitt.
Sydney Christensen.
Millie Buck.
Madison Hodge.
Taylor Lapneski.
Leslie Reyna Marino.
Brandy Kimbrew.
Chloe Bolenbaugh.
Laura Pacheco.
Sophia Vera.
Grace Boree.
Selena Hill.
Sophia Bird.
Demario Green.
Brian Kern.
Crystal Tanco.
Latavia Rubin.
Catherine Philo.
Emma Kordak.
Matthew Wade.